Hey, this is Repen, and welcome back. Let's follow this man down the stairs to see what our fate holds for us. You contemplate signaling the bald guy at the front desk. He's too busy watching some 90s action flick on a small, ancient-looking TV. He seems totally oblivious to your presence. You hear the dejected Jean-Claude Van Damme. I just want to go home as you're walking by. Well, shit. There's no place like home, huh? Your would-be kidnapper, abductor, stops by the door and addresses you before opening it. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, as soon as he opens the door, I'm making a run for it. Maybe I can outrun him. I'll save you the trouble. You can't. You can either get inside my car, and I'll get you to where you need to be. You can try something stupid that you'll regret later. Do I make myself clear? Why don't you turn me in? Because no one would benefit from that. And besides, I have my orders. He opens the door and gestures to a black Cadillac Escalade parked right outside the building. After you. Well, where are we gonna run to? I mean, get inside the car. Follow the stranger's instructions and make your way to the car and get into the back seat. The door locks behind you. Inside, the Cadillac is almost entirely dark. The side windows seem light-proof. The man gets in the driver's seat, starts the engine, and drives away without another word. Who are you? Who the hell are you, anyway? I'm the ferryman, here to take you to the other side. River Styx, I suppose? He weighs his next words carefully. You have to forgive me, I'm not in the mood to wax poetic about the state you're in or my roles in tonight's events. Just remember, if you want to survive the next 24 hours, you'll have to play along. This is a nightmare. This is all a fucking nightmare. The stranger smirks. I understand that this is for your own good. Times being what they are, you should consider yourself lucky. You drive in silence for about 20 more minutes. As exhaustion catches up with you, the streetlights fade into a blur. Eventually, the car stops, and the doors open. You emerge from the dreamlike state and find yourself in some kind of underground parking garage. You two are the only ones here. The man points to the nearby door. Go on, make yourself comfortable. If you get hungry, again, take a look in the fridge. I'll pick you up tomorrow and you'll get your answers. Behind the door is a small room. No windows, just a simple bed, and a single light bulb hanging from the ceiling. A small fridge is humming away in the corner, accompanied by a rattling AC fan in the wall. Guess I have to trust you? Guess I got no choice but to trust you. It took you this long to figure out. Remember, when I said you were lucky, I meant it. See, my job is to get rid of problems, but I'm not always this polite about it. This time, I was specifically told to mind my manners. So believe me when I tell you, considering how this night could have turned out, being stuck in here for a night is a really good deal. Now get in, or I'll throw you in. Well, let's walk inside the room. You step inside, the stranger nods. Good night. Closes the door behind you. It looks sturdy, but as he's locking it, you notice claw marks all over. It looks like some previous guests weren't satisfied with their stay. You decide not to dwell on it and check the fridge. There's a single plastic bag there, filled with a red liquid, no label. Tomato soup? You feel sick to your stomach. Just to leave it for now. You lie down on the bed. It's a simple mattress on a metal frame. Can't help but think it looks like exactly like the one back at the hotel, the bound woman. Alright, you killed a man tonight. Or did you? Maybe none of this is real. Maybe it's all an elaborate prank. The girl at the club, Jess, might have put her up to it. The tall guy is clearly in on it too. Now he's back with them, and they're all laughing their asses off. You don't know what to think anymore. Your mind races, but you're too tired to keep it going. Finally, you tense up one last time before drifting away into oblivion. You wake up. That in itself is a surprise. You barely remember when you drifted off. It didn't feel quite like sleep, more like plummeting into an endless void. Imagine that's how death feels like. The room is unchanged. The lamp is still on. The AC is still rattling. The refrigerator is still humming. You take a look at your watch. It's almost 9 p.m. You slept for 17 hours straight. Well, shit. You must have been on something, right? One hell of a high. Maybe you died. Your breath is gone and you feel no thumping in your chest. Does that qualify as dead if you're still conscious? I mean, there's a bit of philosophy on that one, but knowing what I didn't know about Vampire, well, you're not sure about that, but you are certain about one thing. You are hungry. It's not your stomach rumbling, though. It's a need that starts somewhere in your abdomen and spreads to your chest, throat, and back of the head. You open the fridge, the bag is still there. You take a closer look at it. If it's soup, and its color and texture are off. You pull the cork out, take a whiff. You recognize the smell immediately. Holy shit. There's no mistaking it. It's bagged blood. The smell is faint and you remember some situations in the past where you found it nauseating. And now, it's almost... No. Not almost. It is enticing. Well, we got two symbols here. We got the moon, and we got some fangs here. Do we embrace the craziness, or do we put the bag back and try to think we're delusional, right? Well, we're fucking hungry. I'm hungry right now, to be honest. Feels wrong, but right now, there's barely anything in your life that doesn't. To hell with it. You pour a bit of the liquid into your mouth. It tastes bland, reminds you of cheap supermarket juice. Just enough flavor to register as what it claims to be on the box. Nothing like the real thing. Nothing like we had the last time. Oh, that sound. You swallow it somehow. You don't feel sick. In a weird, messed up way, you can't help but think it feels nourishing. You take a few more sips, and then just another one. Suck on the bag a little more. Eventually, you find that you've emptied it entirely. All. 450 milliliters of it. You look at the info pressed into the side of the bag. Even with its blandness, you still feel like having more. You realize your body longs for the intoxicating high you felt when... An image of that corpse crosses your mind, causing you to wince. What have you become? Try to piece your thoughts together, and make sense of it all. You hear the lock click and see the door open. Standing there is the well-dressed stranger you met yesterday. Immaculate suit again, and the predatory look like a hawk on a hunt, but somehow more relaxed tonight. So like a tamed hawk, maybe. Good evening. Slept well? He notices the scarred empty bag. I see you had a bit of a snack. Was that really blood? Was that really? Type RH positive. Not easy to get. I'm glad you liked it. Come on. We got places to be. The car is humming in the empty parking lot just outside the door of the cramped room. You spend the day in, and the man motions to it politely, but with a stern look on his face. Shit. He's expecting us to, like, do something funny. but I don't know. He gave us a hideout to stay in, and we're in some kind of underworld and way underwater here. So I'm just gonna get inside the car. I'm trusting you here, man. I'm touched, sincerely. You take the back seat again. The doors lock. The stranger takes the wheel and starts the car. Drive in silence for a while. From time to time, you keep trying to catch the glimpse of a familiar streets of landmarks. Excuse me. You keep trying to catch glimpses of familiar streets or landmarks through the blackened windows, but it's of little use. The car is also soundproofed, so all you can hear is a bit of traffic coming and the car's engines. The driver doesn't say anything and seems focused on the road. It's a nice luxury car. You check the door handle. Yeah, the door is locked alright. A piece of dark glass separating you and the front of the car looks sturdy too. There's nothing left to do but wait. You didn't have the time to think about it before, but you realize, now that you're hungry? No, not exactly. It's not a rumbling stomach that grabs your attention. It's a need that starts somewhere in your abdomen and spreads to your chest, your throat, and back of your head. Try to extract some information out of the man behind the wheel, and you realize you prefer to bask in the afterglow of your last meal. You wouldn't have expected it, but you spend the rest of the trip lost in your thoughts. A lot of them concern blood. It takes you another 20 or so minutes to get your destination. As the door opens, you try to get your bearings. You're still in New York, that much is certain. Queens, maybe. After me, no sudden movements, please. You approach a nice-looking building that houses a 2-story gallery called the Art Hole. Huh. The 2 large men in suits flank the door on both sides, and they give your companion a nod as you approach. Prompted by the stranger guiding you, you walk inside. Huh. I mean, the paintings don't look eerie at all either. The gallery is full, which is unusual at this hour to say the least. About 24 faces fill the showroom, and a number of waiters navigate the gathering, serving drinks. All of them are beneath the guests' attention. The visitors are well dressed for the most part, but it's unclear what they have gathered here for. Nobody seems to be particularly interested in the art pieces on the walls, and the atmosphere is polite, and naturally so. Many guests turn to look at you and the stranger who brought you here. Their glances are varied. You see open contempt on a few faces, and animated interest on others. Most of the eyes in the room calmly observe you, as if wishing to appraise your worth. The last time you felt like this was at your previous job interview. It's like being a piece of livestock inspected from all sides for any imperfections, so your wage could be haggled down. It was dehumanizing and made you feel dirty. When they called you the next day to offer you the job, you declined. Even when you're a nobody, you became even less if you traded away your dignity for a paycheck. The memory makes you feel warmer inside even now, although the state of your blank account never did. Good evening, Kadir, and to you, child. What? The noble, cold voice takes you out of your head, and back to the situation at hand. The gallery, a crowd of strangers. You, being brought here against your will, for what purpose? The room awaits your response. Good evening, miss? You're addressing the Prince of New York City, Helene Panhard, child of Michella. Thank you, my sheriff. I am capable of introducing myself. She is somewhat plain-looking and doesn't seem to possess a great deal of charm. But still, the entire room is intently focused on her voice. She has influence over these people, that much is clear. You may address me as Prince, child. I realize your introduction into unlife was abrupt, and I understand your sire left shortly after. The rules of our society dictate I punish you both for this transgression. A murmur of agreement, maybe, can be heard from the gathered audience. But I'm willing to listen to what our loyal sheriff has to say about the circumstances of your embrace first. Let's just stay quiet. You decide it's best to stay silent and listen to the whole situation unfold. Feels like you're out of your depth here. Usually it's better to just stay, not shoot yourself in the foot here. Shall we begin? You're about to be judged by the court of New York City. Kadir, please tell us how you found this fledgling, and what happened on your way here. Court? Prince? Is this some kind of secret society? Make-believe? A trusted informant who has chosen to remain anonymous at this time tipped me off about a suspicious kindred appearing in one of our domains. Upon investigating, I found them gone, but this fledgling remained in their place. The hunger made him savage, a prostitute, and his client in a Bronx brothel belonging to one of the ministry. I have already spoken to Sensariki about this and made sure it'll blow over. I'm terrible with names. Regarding the fledgling himself, surprisingly enough, he offered little resistance last night and cooperated on our way to the safe house. It is pleased not to have forced his compliance. Looks like we earned some points here. We had a quick chat, but wishing to appear here post-haste, I urged him to join me, which he did without struggle. Again, a pleasant departure from my usual routine. His thirst partially slaked with the bagged blood we kept in the safe house, we had a pleasant enough drive here. The story ends with us arriving at Cilium tonight. All eyes are on you again. You take a special interest in one of the faces. It's a beautiful woman with curly, almost blood-red hair, and a dress to match. You see her whispering to some bespectacled man with an absent-minded look on his face. Who is she, you wonder? I think not keeping our pants was what got us into this trouble in the first place. Thank you, Kadir. I take note of this fledgling's behavior and will take it into consideration later. She turns her attention to you now. First, there's a matter of your sire, the person who brought you here, where Kadir picked you up from last night. Who were they? Sire? Let me ask you this first. Why do you keep using that word? Sire? What does it mean? Under regular circumstances, they would be your patron, and the one responsible for your introduction into our society. Things being what they are, however, I would very much like to know who they are. Indulge me. You find it impossible to decline her final request. Something in her voice makes you want to please her, and you hear yourself speak. A Latina woman, very radical, unless she convincingly lied to me. She was special, extraordinary. She had fire, conviction, temper. She seduced me, easily in fact. Made me think she wanted me. I fell for it, and now I'm here. You stop yourself from saying more, and realize there's really not much more to talk about. A nagging thought enters your mind. How did this prince persuade you with such ease? Well, Kadir, does that sound familiar? No, it does not. At least not familiar enough. I will continue to search after we're done here. Do I try to give them information? Try to earn some more brownie points? The receptionist, she spoke to, you may know her. That chick, she rented our room at the motel. Talk to the receptionist, he might know something about her. Unlikely, but regardless, thank you for the observation. I will investigate this later. What shall I do with the fledgling, my prince? What is your recommendation, my sheriff? The traditions are clear. Thou shalt only sire another with the permission of thine elder. If thou created another without thine elder leave, both thou and thy progeny shall be slain. I am ready to fulfill my duty. Stay your hand for just a moment longer, Kadir. I wish to consult my counsel on this. Make sure everyone is in agreement. Of course. He seems strangely relieved. The prince leaves the main showroom, and a handful of people follow her out. You're about to ask this Kadir what all that talk of traditions and councils was, when the red-haired woman approaches the two of you. Sophie. Oh. Sheriff, I was wondering if I could have a word with the fledgling. What for? She lowers her voice in response. Come now, Kadir. You all know what the verdict is going to be. Let me speak to them. You might not have to strain your hands tonight after all. Oh, it's not strain, but stain. And they're talking about killing us so easily like this. I don't like it. Her words grab his attention. His face is hard to read. It's like several emotions are struggling for domination. Anger, sadness, hope, gratitude, resolve. They have some kind of history, it seems. I'll go get my sword. He steps out of the room the way you came. You left in the showroom with the woman in the red dress. She takes you aside, and the eyes of the remaining guests follow you. Well then, fledgling, you are in quite the pickle. What was that about a sword? What did I hear? Wait, did I hear that right? What do you say about a sword? Your hearing isn't faulty. You only have a short while before the prince hears her counsel out, and Kadir returns here with his blade. So listen, please. Last night, you became a vampire. Wait, what? Oh yes, I am well aware of how ridiculous that sounds. It's the reason why we have these nicer words for it. Kindred. Being embraced, having a sire. The fact remains, the beings called vampires. You're looking at them. They're us. You glance around. Some of the guests are still occasionally looking at you, commenting on you in hushed tones. Many of the patrons are pale, like really pale. Most hold glasses of wine. No, not wine. That's not the right thickness, and not the right color either. You're trying to come up with something sensible to say, but you're drawing a blank. Makes a morbid kind of sense. You drank blood last night, there's no denying it, and your breathing has not returned, your heart still remains. Your heart remains still. A vampire. Two voices in your head start battling for supremacy. One of them slowly begins to put everything that happened since yesterday together, coming to a conclusion that no matter how insane it might seem, nothing but what she's saying makes sense. The other voice just keeps saying, what the fuck, on repeat. You're surprised, this is often how it plays out by design. Kadir deliberately keeping you in the dark and all. If we do nothing, you'll be cut down. As sure as day follows night. I'm here to offer you a chance, a way out, under one condition. I will take you under my wing. If you're lucky, the prince will be in a good mood tonight, and your deference to Kadir will work in your favor. She might agree to this, but only if you swear fealty to me. I'm not making this offer lightly. As your patron, I will take responsibility for you. Your actions will reflect on me. If they reflect negatively, well, I will make sure you face the consequences. And that's where we'll leave it. And I'll see you guys later next time. Subscribe to see more, and I'll see you. Bye.